President Buhari accuses Nigerian youths of being lazy. Now, the president, in April of 2018, while attending a conference in the United Kingdom, claimed that Nigerian youths are lazy and do not like to work. He was quoted as saying that, and the statement was not well received by many Nigerians, of course, who faulted the president. They actually came for him, especially for casting the youth of the country in a bad light before the international community.
More than 60% of the population is below the age of 30. A lot of them haven't been to school, and they are claiming, that Nigeria has been an oil-producing country, therefore they should sit and do nothing and get housing, healthcare, education free.
What was your take?
Every time I hear this, I laugh.
You know the funny and the interesting thing, right? And so let's move away from the fact that he made those comments outside the country, and people were like, okay, it's in bad taste for the president to essentially throw his country under the bus on foreign soil and all of that. Is worth looking at the demographics of the 2015 elections and looking at the numbers and the demographics of the people who voted for the president in the key regions that eventually turned for the president. It was mostly young people. Right. It was mostly people that did not have an institutional and operational memory of what a Nigeria under Buhari was like. And that was one of the things that both the young people who had gone through the history, and then older people, especially those in the south who had lived under Buhari as a military leader, brought to the fore, and they were like, you people have actually not consulted the history books. This guy might not actually be a good choice for president. So to have that guy,
that wasn't a general consensus.
No, it wasn't a general consensus, but there was that argument. So now
there's always the argument, and
essentially threw under the bus not only a demographic that constitutes the vast majority of Nigeria's population, but also a demographic that in certain parts of the country tilted, considerably in his favor, was really in bad taste. I mean, it lends credence to the arguments that he's not so much a politician as.
So, some of the most hardworking people I know in the world are Nigerians. I say that with all due respect, but also some of the most entitled people I know in the world are Nigerians. Maybe you used the wrong word, lazy. Maybe entitled is the word.
It's the word you wanted to use.
Probably going
yes.
Entitled, and we've heard statements from his people saying he was actually speaking to about people in the Niger Delta who really just want to just take oil from the ground and take money instead of going out to work. And even the Niger Delta people have said we would rather work than just stand out here. So what he was trying to go for was entitled, and I see this, and I see this on a regular basis when I talk about being entitled. I do a show which I try to connect young entrepreneurs with financiers, investors, and a lot of the time people call into the show and you can tell they didn't think through this business idea, and I'm asking, why would any investor want to give you this money? Because they want to help you, because they feel sorry for you, and it's that sense of entitlement. You see it everywhere.
Right, but it's not in isolation though. Because again, there's that gulf between the young people and the political class. In as much as President Buhari has sold himself as being very Spartan, doesn't like, being ostentatious and all of that, you've seen him wear expensive shoes, expensive wristwatches. It's
how do you know he didn't have those before?
Exactly, wasn't seen until he became the president. So it's difficult for a young Nigerian who sees all of this, sees the political class, sees everything that they do, and now you tell me to take 10, 15 years to learn, while your son is so I think there's that disconnect, and President Buhari himself expressed as well.
Today,
there's nobody to blame for that.
I'm about to combust. As in, you don't want to wait 15 years? Okay, jump then. Well, as in, you've got to start from somewhere.
Speaking about the president's son, I know that after the quote from the president as tagging Nigerian youths lazy quietened. At some point, the controversial statement was reawakened again after the president's son Yusuf Buhari was welcomed at the airport by a delegation of ministers when he returned from receiving...
And he's a Nigerian youth.
Abroad.
So how's that for entitlement? Right, exactly. How's that for entitlement? Yeah. Seriously, he's a Nigerian youth. And this is my thing. I totally agree with Tunji. Honestly, yes, hard-working nation, yes. You know, we're hard-working people because we've just got to get on with it. Not because we're particularly, you know,
innovative.
Yes, not because because we've just got to get on with it. Because if you don't get on with it, it's either you work hard or you die quick. It's that simple.
But don't you think that Nigeria also sees some of the most innovative?
Yes, we see. Yeah, but the innovation, not enough. No, hold on, Tunji. That's what I'm saying. Not enough innovation to override or overwhelm. That's right. Not enough innovation. You see the occasional one, and that's why you're always like, wow, we have the most innovative people in Africa. No, we don't. And I'm not putting us down. Don't get me wrong. I'm not putting us down. I really am about this thing where, look, in life, you've got to be born. You've got to learn to walk. You've got to crawl. You've got to take each step, and every step matters. There is a saying in Yoruba, which I believe also exists in Igbo. It says, it doesn't matter how many new clothes a young person can have. They can never have as many rags as an old person. And those rags are the rags of wisdom, the rags of experience, the rags of falling down and getting back up, the rags that you brush it off your shoulder, the rags that you know what, if the kids don't need, you need those rags. So let's stop this thing about Nigerian youth. The amount of Nigerian youths that I've met that have brought me close to suicide, I give up count. And there is nobody here, you Ikemesit, you interview young people all the time. And I know in your firm, you constantly come out of interviews thinking, did they really? Really? Did he just say that?
Well, yeah,
did they just say that?
Well, yeah, we have those experiences, but I think the backlash against President Buhari's comments was
because it's Buhari. That's why.
No.
Yes, it was.
So I think we're probably misreading the tone a little bit. Yeah. I think the backlash fundamentally stems from the fact that for a lot of Nigerian youths, the hope and the promise for a better tomorrow seems to be fading and waning. When you have someone essentially blame you for problems that are actually systemic and structural and predate you and might outlast you, it then becomes really frustrating. And that was why that backlash, I think, occurred.
I'm sure we'll get to talk a lot more about young people participating in politics in the course of reviewing other stories in the course of 2018.